So yesterday I got asked the question, what is the number one sales question that has led to your success as a life insurance agent? I'm going to give that to you in this video. I'm going to share with you the one sales question that I have in my script that you must have in your script that has specifically contributed to over $8.2 million of final expense life insurance over the phone. This one question has led to over 8,930 final expense sales over the phone. And it's simply because I asked this one question. I promise you, if you learn this question, add this in your script, your sales rates are going to go up. You're going to start selling literally everyone. And most importantly, it's going to help remove the objections at the end where people tell you, I need to think about it, or I can't, I got to talk to my spouse, or let's do this at another time. If you want to remove most of your objections and sell more people, this video is going to help you. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Peter Roberts. I've built an agency that's doing millions of dollars of production, and I've also taught people how to sell thousands of life insurance policies. So I promise you this stuff's going to work. Okay. So let me give you guys the meat and the good stuff. What is the one question that you need to understand and have in your sales script? Okay. That question is, what would that look like if you didn't have this life insurance in place? What would they have to do? Okay. I'm going to repeat this back to you. What does that look like if you didn't have this life insurance? What would they have to do? Okay, we're going to break this down because I want you guys to understand more than just this question. Okay, I want you to understand the framework behind the question that'll allow you to open up the prospect to want to make the buying decision. Okay, when people value, okay, money less than a policy, they're going to buy a policy. Okay, when the price is greater than the value, that equals no sale. Okay. So when the price, $72 per month for a $10,000 policy, 10K, when there's not enough price to value discrepancy, that equals no sale. But what I'm going to teach you guys, if you ask these questions, what will happen is that they're going to get into their emotional state, your prospects, and the price of $71 is less than, there's a larger gap between a $10,000 policy, meaning that they actually value spending $71 more than keeping that to their self and spending that, investing that into something that's invisible like life insurance. So the goal as a life insurance agent is to build that price to value discrepancy. The more price to value there is, the higher likelihood of them making a sale. But if the price is here and the value is here, there's not a lot of a gap that people probably won't buy. And a lot of times all we have to do, and the best thing is that we just have to add good questions into our script that allow them to build the gap that goes from price to value. Okay. And the more that gap is, the more they're going to sell. But let's help understand people. Why is this so important? People don't buy life insurance. If you're selling someone life insurance right now, they're not buying it because they woke up one day and want to have a life insurance policy. No, they are doing it to protect someone that they love. Okay. So when it comes to this, you have to understand what that looks like and how they're going to protect someone that they love. Okay. And when you're selling a invisible product, what you are trying to do is you're trying to help them get into their emotional state where they are going to go ahead and value what's the problem of why they need to make this decision. Okay. Now, here's why it's really important that you ask this question. Most people, it's hard for them to think about spending $71 for something that they're not going to see, right? That's kind of expensive for something that they're not going to see. But instead, you have to have them paint the picture. If you're buying life insurance, they have to understand what the situation looks like if they don't make the decision. This is what we call a consequence, okay? So you have to help them understand the consequence of inaction, because when you're selling something, you're helping them make a decision. You're helping them go ahead and make a decision that they are putting off for probably a long time because they don't have a lot of pain or they don't have a lot of concern. But you need to help them understand the consequence. And this is why this question is really, really important. Miss Betty, what does that look like if you do not get this life insurance in place? Okay. She's going to say, oh, well, it's going to be hard for my kids. It's going to be hard for my kids. Yep. Okay. It's going to be difficult. Okay. Difficult. It's going to be a pain for my kids. Okay. But the problem is that is not enough depth. Okay. If you want to open up your prospect and get them into the emotional, what are we going to have to do? We are going to have to paint the picture, guys. And this is what this allows us to do. This is why you have to have this question into your script. When you say difficult, What do you mean by that, Miss Betty? Can you help me understand if you passed away tomorrow, when you say it's going to be difficult, what does that actually look like for your kids? Okay. It's the hard questions that get people to buy. When you say it's going to be hard for your kids, okay, if you really had to think about it, what does hard mean for your kids? Okay. When you say it's not going to be easy, what do you mean by that? What does that look like for your kids? And by asking these in-depth questions, guess what Miss Betty's going to do? She's going to get to paint the picture of what life looks like if she dies tomorrow without life insurance. And that is the goal of this question. If you die today, okay, what does that look like tomorrow for your kids, for your loved one, for your wife, for your spouse? What are they actually going to do? And when you can help them realize that if they don't make this decision today and tomorrow that they pass away, their loved ones that they love, that they are trying to support, are going to be in a really bad position. Okay. But if you do not paint the picture, people are going to stay surface level. If you don't ask this question and dive deep and really, really, really paint the picture, they're going to just give you those surface level answers. But surface level answers do not allow you to build the price to value discrepancy. If you just ask a surface level question, you get a surface level answer, the price to value is small. But when you get them to open up, and they talk about when they die, their daughter's going to have to start a GoFundMe, they're going to have to raise money, and that the family around them is going to be really upset about them, how is that going to make them feel? They realize that if they continue to put this off, if they don't make this decision today, and you bring that to the forefront of their mind, that if they don't make this decision, the consequence outweigh the consequences of not making the decision outweigh getting the policy. It's more valuable for them to avoid the consequences than actually just stay in the same state. And when someone buys something, they're confessing that they want to change their behavior, they want to change their state, and they're confessing that they want a change. Okay. And when people give you an objection, okay, an objection is that they're scared. It's fear. They're scared that something bad's going to happen. And all you have to do is help address, what fears do you have? What concerns do you have? Why are you not making the decision? Is it too expensive? Do you not really know if you need it? But I want you to remember this. If someone came to you today and was like, "Hey, Peter, you can get, a $100,000 car, which is let's say like a Range Rover or something, for $10,000, okay? No matter how much money's in a bank account, no matter what you do, you'd find a way to get the $10,000. Why? It's because this price is less than the value of the car, okay? Basically, you value this, that this is worth more than the 10,000, so you will do whatever it takes to get the money to go ahead and purchase something because you value it. You find that there is some type of, scarcity behind it, and you need it. So that is your goal in your sales process, is to get them to build so much value in the call by asking these deep questions, like these consequence questions, that by the end of the call, they value getting life insurance more than spending their money. And when you can get people to open up by asking them, what is that going to look like? What are they going to have to do? How are they going to get the money? Can you walk me through the process? And you dive deep, you are then creating more value than the price. And the larger that gap is, value to price, the more likelihood that they're going to buy. So you have to use this question. It's the number one question that I have in my script. You have to get them to paint the picture, dive deep, don't get surface level answers, and let them open up about how bad life looks if they do not make this decision. And you need them to paint the picture, not you. You don't assume, you ask questions, you dive deeper, and then they're going to sell themselves on why they need this. So use that question. It's a question I got asked. And if you use it, you'll make more money. Cheers.